I probably will want to put up an arachnophobia warning at the start of this video, huh? Didn't think about that.
Hey folks, Zinged here. Welcome back to Zing's Indie Gallery. Today we're going to be checking out a demo for Conquest Dark. This game is currently on the Steam Next Fest with a demo. The full game will be dropping around the 1st of May. This is as you can see quite clearly, Survivor-like. So following in the footsteps of plenty of excellent survival games out there currently. Of course, Vampire Survivors being the one that really kind of kicked off the modern iteration of the genre as we know it. But this one's a little bit different in that, well, first of all, it's made by a solo dev. It's made by Eldritch Sword Games, which is currently a single developer working out of Finland and published by Mad Mushroom. And it's also a lot shorter. And what I mean by that is the runs don't encourage you to linger. You're here to kill a certain number of bosses, and once that's done, then you go on your merry way, move on to the next stage. As you can see from the map here I'm currently playing on, it's also very small, right? Many Survivor-likes have fairly large maps where you can walk around. Each map may have several side objectives for you to handle as well in order to get increased rewards. Not so for Conquest Dark. This map is very small. Hordes are going to spawn very close to you. Once you're done doing what you need to do here and kill a preset number of bosses, then it's going to encourage you to get the heck out of Dodge, per se. And in doing so, you also unlock some currency, as you can see on the top left there, that can be used for meta progression. You also have a couple of factions in the game as well that provide you additional bonuses, passives, and items as you unlock them through the levels of the faction. That's what you can see in purple on the left there, where it says FXP, that stands for Faction XP. And of course, within each run, you're going to be picking up experience, leveling, unlocking new powers and passives, and also you'll be unlocking weapons and gear. So your weapon, your armor, these are all things that you actually unlock in the middle of the map. I'm playing right now a human hunter. Unfortunately, I didn't pick a bow. I decided to go for the big two-hander. But as a result, I am getting a lot of ability unlocks that perhaps are more suited for ranged weapons, not gonna lie. Anyway, I've been having quite a bit of fun playing this game. It's really chunky in a very satisfying kind of way. It's got that old school D&D 3.5e kind of feel to it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Of course, right now, it's kind of hard to see where this game is going to be in the next several months. Of course, it launches on the 1st of May. The demo is ostensibly limited. Not sure how limited it is, but it looks like there's going to be at least a couple of regions that you can unlock maps on. But for now, yeah, let's take you through the demo and we'll show you what we have here. If you like what you're seeing, then I'll drop a link for you in the description down below. You can go check out their Steam store page, wishlist, try the demo if it's still available, and perhaps keep an eye on it. Here we go. All right, so dropping into the world map, and this is what I mean by my saying I think there might be a few different regions you can pick for. As you can see, I'm in this desert region at the moment. There's one up here to the top left, which looks perhaps a bit more foresty. There's an island, coastal, kind of perhaps volcanic region over there, and here's something a bit more tropical and exotic. And I'm not sure what this is, or how it plays into the full game, the full release, but I'm sure we'll find out in due time. And these are the maps that you'll be playing on. The one here I'm about to select, Coastal Cove. You can see by the 3 skulls underneath it that there are 3 bosses we have to kill, and you can see what the rewards are along the bottom there. So I'm going to go ahead and begin the ritual, which is a short map that we need to deal with in order to unlock progression. Right here at the start, you can pick your class and race combo. At the moment, we only have humans to pick from. You can re-roll the selections you have here, and you can see each of them comes with 2 different kinds of passives, if you will. Let's see if I can find anything good. Attack arc, reach, resistance, or piercing. Okay, let's go with the human barbarian.
And you can start with any one of these classes, right? They roughly equate to a sword and board kind of class, a two-handed barbarian kind of class, and a more ranged bow user, hunter's apprentice. But since I'm playing a barbarian, I might just go with the savage upbringing. I feel like that's going to match the best. And we start off without any gear whatsoever. Usually the first enemy we take down is going to give us a selection of weapons. Right, a two-handed axe, two-handed sword, and dual-wielding axes. I think I might go for the two-handed axe. I've always been an axe fan in games, especially with two-handed axe. It's got a really satisfying feel. Two-handed axe, a two-handed hammer, which is one of the weapons I main in the Monster Hunter series. It's very satisfying. I love seeing those big numbers fly. Although, to be fair, the very first time I completed a map in this game, I was actually playing a bow user. But, well, that was what was working for me at the time. But this is what I prefer if I have the choice. We're going to go with some attack speed here, get those swings coming in hard and fast. Alright, our first ability, we have ground slam, seismic slam, or an axe toss. I think the seismic slam is probably the way to go. It provides a really nice AoE that I can't say no to. Above our character, you can see two bars. The green is our life, blue is our energy. We generate energy when we hit enemies or when we use certain skills. And then you'll see times 10, and that is effectively the number of lives that I have. So when you lose your full health bar, you go down 1 life, and in addition to going down 1 life, you also accrue a stack of bleed. So what happens here is when you have bleed, you start ticking down on your health, and so that adds a little bit of pressure to your run. There are a few different ways to mitigate this. You can just increase your resistance to bleed, you can get items or skills or passives that give you additional health. You get some skills that allow you to generate orbs of health, essentially, that let you heal back up in the middle of the run. That's always really useful. But yeah, there is definitely some kind of time pressure here in terms of making sure that you don't die too often, and if you do, you have to find ways to mitigate that. So there's a bit of balancing to be done here between a good offense and some solid defense. And in this case, the more you die, the harder this particular run is going to be for you. I think more attack speed is the way to go here. And we can unlock a rune. I'm going to go ahead and buff my seismic slam. I've only got 1 rune unlocked that I can use for it right now. That's additional crit chance, which is great. I'll take that. Yeah, the rhythm is a bit different to other survivor likes out there. Not to say that it's bad. I think it's a quite refreshing take on the genre, and that I don't have to sit down for 20 minutes, 25 minutes in order to finish a run. I know I can be in and out in a reasonably short amount of time. You can see the timer ticking down from the top there. What happens is when you reach 0, it's going to spawn a lot of spirits or ghosts that are enemies that have really high health, they do a lot of damage, and they're basically there to make sure that you don't survive for any longer. And that's the game's way of saying you gotta get back out to the main menu and start unlocking some meta progression stuff. So yeah, it feels fairly good because it feels like it respects my time. You know, I don't have to be worried about sitting around for a really long run. And at the same time, if the run fails, then I know that I haven't lost a bunch of time, which is also a really nice feeling to have. It does make it a bit more limited though in terms of your build craft. I feel like the number of abilities on offer here are far lower than many other survivor likes I've played. There don't also appear to be a lot of synergies, so things like artifacts. I may need to unlock more of that before I can really speak to it. I'm not entirely sure, but just from what I can see at the moment, it does not seem to have that level of theory crafting, of build crafting that you could do with other games. Not sure yet whether that's a good thing or not. I guess we'll find out in due time. But it does make me wonder about the state of the game in terms of the content, the variety on offer, come the full launch. Of course, this is only just a demo. We may have access to more classes, more races. Hopefully we get more weapons, because I've been seeing quite a lot of the same ones pop up over and over again. But then again, maybe that's not what we want. I mean, in other survivor likes, that does really serve to pad out the runtime. Soulstone Survivors is a really good example of having a lot of different currencies and materials you can use for crafting stuff, upgrading stuff, and that ends up just taking a huge chunk of your time. It is, I suppose, good in the long run when it comes to the longevity of the game, but it does make things feel like it's crawling along super slow sometimes, which is not necessarily what I want, especially in this day and age when there are just so many great games being released almost constantly. Something like this that I can finish in perhaps 20 hours, 15 hours, I think could be a nice little change of pace. And of course, keeping in mind that this is a game developed by a solo developer, so it might not be fair to want a lot of content similar to what other larger teams can put out. But, we'll see. Overall, I still think the gameplay feels solid. The hits and the boss fights and mechanics, fairly simplistic, but it is satisfying. So I can't say that I am not enjoying it. But yeah, like I said, I just wish I wish I could see a bit more variety when it comes to the gear, it comes to the classes, the abilities and stuff like that. Not seeing that yet, but we'll see how it goes come the full game on the 1st of May. More crit is good. Let's see. So we can get artifacts here. I just said not too long ago that the number of artifacts are kind of limited. So as you can't see, I can't re-roll this. It might be because I only have access to these 2 at the moment. But yeah, really hard to say just because it is a demo and the content is limited. Yep, give me more attack speed. It does mean I have to keep swinging though. Is there a timer? Yep, on the bottom right you can see the speed, or the time I have left, sorry. You can see the time I have left to make sure that I don't lose my stacks of haste, if you will, which shouldn't be too difficult considering the number of enemies that are going to be thrown at me. I can modify my movement ability. Alright, let's go for Leap. Another classic barbarian skill. I love the feel of that. Yeah, hits in this game are pretty chunky and meaty. I think the devs did a fine job at creating something that feels good. It gives good amount of tactility, a lot of feedback. And of course, it feels great when things die very quickly. And at the end of the day, isn't that really the goal when it comes to Survivor likes? Try and wipe the screen as quickly as possible. Oop, here's a boss. As you can see, it's got a skull. It's got 3 or 4 health bars. Nothing I can't deal with, I think. That AoE seismic slam is really coming in handy. I think I made a good choice with that. Alright, here we can grab another piece of gear. Also something that I'm really happy to see. The gear that you pick reflects on your actual in-game character. So you can see them getting more and more kitted out as you go through the run and you pick up gear. But it does seem that you can only pick your weapon at the very start, though, so keep that in mind. You're locked in. If you pick a bow, you're going to be using a bow for the rest of the run. If you pick a sword or an axe, that's what you're stuck with. And of course, with the runs being so short, it doesn't feel bad. It feels fun to experiment, just because you know that you're not going to be really gimping yourself in the long run. And if it doesn't work out, you can always just start over, and you haven't lost that much time. Of course, what you do gain in the run in terms of experience, fashion XP, your extra currencies and stuff like that, you do keep a hold of that if you fail the run. So it's not punishing or anything, it's just a time investment, and perhaps you don't get to unlock the things you wanted to unlock from killing the bosses. But that's okay. Jeez, I wonder what happened to all the human and skeleton enemies we had earlier. It's fine, nothing wrong with killing spiders. Good thing I am not too bothered. I always know that if I am, I can just kill it with my giant axe. It's taking a bit more concentration from me now. Having to figure out a good path to take to hoover up those orbs of XP and health. But in terms of how the run is going, I'm doing pretty well so far. As you can see, I still have my 10 lives. So I haven't fully depleted any one of my health bars yet. That's great to see. Now we're getting some projectiles in the mix. And commentating while doing this is starting to get a bit tricky. A pool of poison, and we have another boss here. Oh man. These poison pools stick around for a very long time, huh? Ooh, really relying on those health orbs that drop. As you can see, they're the red ones over there. Red currency, these are souls that you can offer to different altars to give you permanent buffs, like percent chance to crit, percent of your base health increasing and stuff like that. So you want to be trying to pick those up as often as you can. Well, to be fair, they're not a super common drop or anything, so it's pretty obvious when one does drop. You're not likely to miss it. But walking in those pools of poison is going to bring me down, I think. Oh, I really hope I have enough DPS to beat this spider. Oh, let's go for some health, maybe. Yes, yes, yes. Gimme, gimme, gimme. Man, I'm seeing some nice big numbers, but I'm gonna lose a lot of life just taking down this one boss.
This particular stage, this ritual as the game calls it, has 3 bosses. And I think this is the second, so we're not doing that bad. I did not want to get hit by that. Soul fragments, let's see. More damage is always good. I think I'm going to really bank on my seismic slam, so I'm going to buff that up. We probably have, I can get another artifact. Okay, I'm not going to turn that down. A rune, and this will allow me to buff my skills. You can see along the bottom there, that small circle at the very top of each skill icon. This will allow me to buff it by using one of these runes. So I already have projectile mounts. I don't actually have any skills on this particular run that releases a projectile. Crit damage. What is my crit currently at? Oh man, okay. I just noticed that as I lose lives, you can actually see taking chunks off my character there. I did not expect to see that. So, are we human? Alright, my crit is currently at 40%. Critical hit damage is 50%. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that, shall we? Unfortunately, I don't think I get to slot it for this run. That's okay. We're here to grind. Yeah, I think I made the right choice not picking that axe toss. Can you imagine just hitting 2 enemies with the axe toss versus this AoE? Okay, give me more crit. I think is going to be the useful one here. We can really start to increase that crit damage. We have nearly 50% crit, so it would be wise to capitalize on that. Ooh, man, alright, we've got just 4.5 minutes left to try and beat the 3rd boss. I don't actually know what the requirements are to summon the boss. It may be time-based, perhaps? Wouldn't be surprised. Man, these guys are getting a lot more tough, huh? It's taking a lot more hits to kill them. Or are those elites? I'm not entirely sure, but they're definitely tanky as all heck. Oh man, there goes another life. Get me out of there. Oh no, everyone's leaping as well. Oh, that's not good. I don't like where this is going. I don't like it at all. Give me more health. I'm on 1 life left. I think this is the end for me, folks. There it is. Okay, well, we gained some stuff over here. So we unlocked silver chainmail. That's great. We unlocked a new armor set bonus, different abilities. Ooh, lay fire traps. I like the sound of that. We unlocked, of course, that critical hit rune that we can use for the next run. Okay. All in all, not bad, not bad. So yeah, this is the game. If you know if you've ever played a Survivor like game, you kind of have an idea of what you're in for. Different layers of progression, different layers of unlocking passive abilities, permanent upgrades, unlocking different things that you can use as part of your next runs. I think this one's a pretty satisfying one. Survivor likes are a dime a dozen nowadays, but there are really quite a few that stand out. And I would say this has the potential to be one just because of the different ways it has changed up the formula. Not gonna lie, this is one I'm gonna be keeping my eye on. It's dropping in just a few months, so it's not too much longer to wait now. If this is something that tickles your fancy, if you are currently looking for a new Survivor like to try, why not give this one a shot? I'll leave a link to the store page in the description down below. The full game is expected to be out on the 1st of May, developed by Eldritch Sword Games. Yeah, this is definitely worth recommending. For now, this has been Zinged. Hey folks, I just want to quickly bring you back in just so you can see what it's like once I get to the end of a ritual. I've managed to get to the end with, again, a ranged character. I'm not going to say whether or not that means ranged is currently the meta, but it seems to have worked well for me so far. 3 seconds left on the clock. Here's what it looks like. Although in this case, you know what? I've got enough move speed so that I might be able to survive for longer than usual. Oh, but you can see how much damage each hit does to me. Good grief. Oh, did not expect this. I'm lasting so much longer than normal. Don't skip leg day, folks. You can move faster than the ghost can get you. You're gonna do well. Although I don't think they drop experience, unfortunately. And of course,
this is just never going to end, so there's really not much point in continuing to do this.
But I stand defiant.
Oh, there it is. Alrighty then. Hey folks, gonna bring you back in again real quick for the second time. But I'm an idiot, and it turns out that I've completely glossed over the fact that the Pale Desolation is a new map and a new game mode. Didn't notice, I didn't realize, I didn't try it, I thought it was just a faction. So I'm gonna quickly show you what that looks like. So, same as usual, we're going to find a new character, rerolls, crit chance, sure. And I'm going to go with the Hunter's Apprentice again, because that has been working really well for me. So far, I've been finding that the Titan bow is a lot of fun, especially if you can build for attack speed and number of projectiles. You combine this with a, forget the name, but the skill that gives you a piercing attack and a massive shot. That's a lot of fun to play with. Alright, so you notice that there's now a third bar at the top of the screen. This is going to measure the level of your ritual. And in order to increase the level of the ritual, you have to collect Dark Souls. And you collect Dark Souls by disturbing bones like that and killing the mini-boss that it spawns. It's going to then drop these souls, which you can surrender at the ritual site in the middle of the map. And once it gets to 100%, it'll summon a boss. And you just do that over and over and over, and it's going to eventually increase the level of your ritual, which will then unlock additional perks, benefits, and other things that you can unlock in the middle of the run. As you can see, this is also a much bigger map. You have a lot more room to move. There are some new enemy types which weren't present in the 3 other maps that I'd played up until this point. So that's always nice to see. And now if I can just find another soul to disturb over here. Come on, where are you? For a build like this, energy is also great, because the more energy you can build, the faster you're going to get your power shot off. So if I just make my way back to the middle of the map here, I can turn in some of the souls that I have to power up the ritual. In case you're wondering, that red... Ooh, god, that hurts. That red circle I have under the boss is a lock-on mode. Just makes it so I don't have to manually aim at it all the time. So yeah, there you have it. This is a new ritual that you can also play as part of the demo. I'm not sure how I missed it in the first place, but it really adds a lot more content, surprisingly. So yeah, give it a shot.